So Chris Matthews has been accused of having a bias in favor of Hillary Clinton. And it's even boiled up to a point where there's a petition on MoveOn.org trying to get his show suspended. So the petition reads, MSNBC should suspend Chris Matthews, host of Hardball, because of his constant shilling for Hillary Clinton. In every episode of Hardball, in every exclusive interview with Clinton, he gives her endless time to make her case, repeats her talking points, gives her softball questions, denigrates Bernie Sanders and his people-powered movement, and reinforces the narrative that she will be the Democratic nominee. Matthews should be removed from the air for the duration of the campaign, or he should be required to give Bernie equal time. So, this is research done by the Daily Caller that looked into Chris Matthews' wife, Kathleen Matthews, who is running for Congress. And, well, it's interesting because she shares some donors with Hillary Clinton. Donors that don't even live in the area that Kathleen Matthews is running in. Many of Kathleen Matthews' biggest donors have close ties to either the Clinton Foundation or the Clinton themselves. As noted by Bloomberg 2 years ago, 12 families have donated to every single Clinton campaign and charity. Of the 12 families, the 2 families that have donated the most to the Clintons are both funding Matthews' campaign. 4 families from Bloomberg's list of biggest Clinton donors have given to the Matthews campaign. None of the 4 live in Maryland, where Matthews is actually running. So there is some real truth to this. And who got to moderate Hillary Clinton's town hall on Monday? None other than Chris Matthews. So, to be fair to Chris, in the middle of the town hall with Hillary Clinton, he asked her tough questions on Iraq and foreign policy. So there was that. But then sandwiched between that were pro-Hillary love at the beginning, pro-Hillary love at the end, laughs, giggles, all having a good time, just a great time. So let's go to the first clip. I'm going to show you 3 clips here. And this shows the problem with Chris Matthews.
Let's talk about your opponent, the one you have right now in tomorrow's primaries.
Your opponent, the one you have right now. Isn't that kind of marginalizing him? It's kind of marginalizing Bernie Sanders, telling her, let's talk about your opponent, the one you have right now. It's the thing with Chris Matthews here, he doesn't even realize what he's saying. He doesn't realize that he's sounding biased. He's not catching himself. But he's implying that Hillary Clinton is obviously going to get through Bernie Sanders and go to the general election, which at this point in this town hall wasn't obvious. Maybe right now that could be something that he could say that would make more sense. But at this time, it's not something that you should really say. And even if, as long as Bernie is still running, that is not something you should imply until the guy's out. And I have a bias for Bernie Sanders. I prefer Bernie Sanders, but I tell you that I like Bernie Sanders. Chris Matthews pretends to be neutral, and there lies the issue. You can't pretend to be neutral and then clearly show a bias in your reporting. And now this is the next clip.
I asked him about Bernie Sanders because he's been with him for all these years, and he said Bernie's the same as he was 40 years ago. So it's the same approach, same philosophy, democratic socialism, very much comfortable with that, and has never really changed his tune. You're more protean over your lifetime. In fact, I admire it because it's the same route I took.
Okay. There are 2 problems wrong with this clip. Let's get to the first one. Protean. So calling Hillary Clinton protean. Let's see. I've never used this word before. I'm sure I've heard it, but I never looked into it. Protean means tending or able to change frequently or easily. Synonyms for protean: ever-changing, variable, changeable, mutable, kaleidoscopic, inconstant, inconsistent, unstable, shifting, unsettled. So if we were to rephrase the question, he could have said, you're ever-changing. In fact, I admire it. You're inconsistent. In fact, I admire it. You're wavering. In fact, I admire it. So that's the first thing wrong with that clip, calling her protean. And then the second part, I admire it. This is a moderator, supposed to be neutral in the town hall. You're protean. In fact, I admire it. I admire you, the person I am supposed to be moderating in this town hall, the possible next president of the United States. I admire you for being protean. This is not neutral reporting. This is fucking ridiculous. Can you imagine Chuck Todd going to Bernie Sanders? You're a socialist. In fact, I admire it. You're very progressive. In fact, I admire it. Your plans are amazing. In fact, I admire it. Like, this is insane. This is unprecedented. No other moderator does this. I don't even on Republican, even in the Republican town halls and debates, you don't see them admiring the candidates they're supposed to be moderating. It's ridiculous. And then we're going to end on this next clip.
You were a Goldwater girl. And then, which was a libertarian guy with a very attractive, he was a very attractive candidate, I remember, very libertarian.
So Goldwater, for those who don't know, Goldwater was a very extreme candidate in the 60s, Republican candidate. He was actually so extreme that the other day, Rachel Maddow compared him to Donald Trump.
Because the Republican Party did something that even most of its leadership considered to be wackadoo when they picked Barry Goldwater. And so that Lyndon Johnson ran this against Donald Trump. I mean, Barry Goldwater.
This is on MSNBC. This is on the same channel. This is on the same network. Just a week ago, Rachel Maddow doing this segment on him. Just an idea of how much of a dissenting figure Goldwater was. He lost this election in a landslide. So Goldwater was an extreme candidate to the point where people did not support him. This is very similar to what could happen in this year's general election. The end of that, this is the end of the town hall, and here he is being buddy-buddy with Hillary Clinton. Basically saying that he understands the crazy positions she used to have because everyone's like that. Or I started off like that. I'm just like you. It's insane. It's insane that they allowed Chris Matthews to moderate this town hall with Hillary Clinton. It doesn't make any sense. Unless you want to push one candidate over the other, which they successfully did.